guys. How you guys doing?
Good.
All right.
This is my silver coach, Phil Klemmer.
Just for the transcription purposes, can you say your names and your voices so that they know who's
Sure.
Phil Klemmer.
Nick Zano Phil Klemmer.
Nick Zano. Phil Klemmer. Josh Dumel and Phil Klemmer.
Season 4, getting more, a bit more supernatural and
Yeah.
weird with it.
Yeah.
How much can you talk about that?
Oh, sure. Well, yeah, I feel like when you invite Constantine on the show, that comes with its own sort of, and we dabbled in the world of the occult with like Nora Dark and Damien Dark, and I don't know, I like doing those spookier episodes that kind of it keeps the silly from being too silly. I don't know. We haven't done it yet, so I mean,
We're maybe at episode 2.5.
yeah.
Yeah, we're not even done with 2 yet.
But I mean, the thing, I am interested in doing like old school, in camera, prosthetic horror. I feel like, not to knock CGI, but like, as a child of the 80s, like I really dig like old school, just monster makeup, and Sam Raimi. Yeah, just I feel like sometimes having limitations forces you to come up with really ingenious ways of doing stuff. So like we had that Mollis gazillion-dollar CGI bad guy, but the problem is you don't really get to have a story with those kind of things. Like I want the kind of monsters that you have like a scene with you and
I think it's just so strong.
she's so strong. It's sort of like just a ball peen hammer.
Yeah.
During the last season, we saw some homages to classic movies, like E.T. and
Yeah.
then the actresses.
Yeah.
And,
That was a dope episode.
so yeah, they're rare. So are you gonna keep bringing those, into the season?
Definitely. It always helps me to have like a genre in mind when you make an episode. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out whether we have any big homages coming your way. I'm trying to figure out what I have to spoil. We're kind of doing our version of the Crucible, which doesn't sound like a lot of fun. But
A funny version of the
a funny version of the Crucible.
Yeah. Mr. Bean goes to the crucible.
And what is the shape of the new season gonna be? Because then now with as you said, the darker part with Constantine and Nora in it, and then
Yeah.
but there's also the very very light part, like
Yeah.
with Bebo and all that. Right?
Yeah, I mean, for whatever reason, humor and heavy stuff can coexist on our show, and it just, the conceit of the show itself is so preposterous that I think we've been given the liberty to do what you can't do anywhere else. Like, forget cable, network, any of the rest of it. I mean, we've been given like carte blanche to tell any story, any genre we want to tell, and like for better or for worse, I think people are just like ready to. I think it's the characters are real, their interactions are true to life, and so like it gives us a lot of rope.
We have no rules. Like Phil and I were talking over hiatus, like we can go in any direction any week we want, but it's okay because it's Legends. Like we can make an ET episode. We can like do that, and everyone's comfortable watching because we don't have a blueprint. And we can change our tone all the time because for whatever reason we exist in this pocket where everyone kind of leaves us alone creatively. And that pocket's kind of special and rare in TV. And we all are aware of it, and we don't take it for granted, and we get really behind it. Because if we're not behind it, I mean, Bebo's a crazy thing to read, and then be like, Phil, what is this?
It's gonna work.
It's like, trust us. He's a giant, fluffy blue thing.
Well, I mean, you think like that Victor Garber died in this
Yeah.
gut-wrenching, awful scenario, and then the next episode we had a grief puppet of Wentworth Miller.
Yes, bro.
And like, if you just academically, if somebody told you like that's bad, no,
That's bad TV.
But
I mean,
some,
you don't do that.
But they're, like the pathos of him dying, that was honest, and the humor of what we're pulling at, like somehow they're true to the spirit of the show in its own way, that they can coexist. You know?
There was a moment that day when Wentworth had the puppet, and I hadn't seen the Martin puppet.
Yeah.
And I went into the wave rider, and I sat down across from Wentworth, and he looked at me and he goes, "Have you seen it?" And I was like, I go, "No, I haven't." He goes, and then they got everything set up, and he picks up this puppet, which was far larger than I remotely expected.
And more lifelike.
And way more lifelike. And he was like, using it, and I was just, I go, Rennie, I can't, bro. I can't. I need like 3 minutes with you two together to adjust to this site.
Yeah, we've written a lot of drugs into our show, and it's certainly not an endorsement, but at the same time, there are times where that's the only way you can make sense of what's happening. It's like, this is psychedelic. And actually, we're going to start this season with probably the pinnacle of psychedelia.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a big old trip.
Yeah.
You go see Tim Leary?
Not far off. Not far off.
Tim Leary is now a producer on it.
Now, you know, let's talk about the breakup.
Okay?
How are you going to come to grips with that during the season?
It's ever present with Nate, even though other things are occurring. It's always there. It's always surfaced. It can always be brought up, even though we may start in some crazy road. It's there, and it's played lightly, and will for sure be visited this season. 100%. I saw it at the party last night.
It's
So you did?
Yeah. I mean, it's funny. We have a show where it's kind of a gag, but it's really not a gag, because it is kind of who you guys are. That like the men on our show are incredibly in touch with their feelings. It's we do a bit of a traditional gender role swap on the show, where female characters a lot of times are the ones who are doing what men of, our dad's generation had to do. It's just like, grin and bear it. Yeah, they have to hold down the job, and and the guys are really dealing with some, I mean, it's just fun to have a guy like Dominic Purcell and think like, what is the most unusual thing he could do? And you're like, make him a romance novelist.
Yeah.
Like, make him, and you get to know Dom, and you're like, there is something at the center of you that is true to that story.
Yeah. He is a very gentle soul.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Hope you dig it. Yeah.